What's going on, party people? This your man Griff. So, real quick video here. I'm trying to make this really quick. But about a week ago, I did a video, um, a live that I was when I was driving out to Suffolk. It was way out there in Suffolk to do a house inspection. And in that video, I talked about scanning. Gave my thoughts on scanning and things of that nature about scanning from the table because that seems to be a thing that a lot of the newer notaries that's coming into this business are trying to do to try to prove that, hey, I'm a good notary and I'm gonna just scan from the table and get this thing done. And then running into problems. They're not problems with the work that they did, but problems getting it done. And I don't think that that should be a staple from the standpoint when you're just starting out. And I'm gonna go into that. I'm gonna break it down why. I think the goal should be to get the job done. First thing, get the closing done and all of that. And to me, if you're properly trained, the amount of error will go down or should not even be there if the person is properly trained from the beginning, which we know a lot of us aren't. Okay, we're just sort of thrown out there. So I did this video called Early Morning Live Time to Work. I just threw up a name. I don't know what the heck to call it. So apparently somebody said, made a comment, not saying that it's a bad comment, good comment. They just made the comment, express how they feel. But I wanted to point out some things, and it was just easier for me actually to do a video. And y'all know how I am. I mean, I'll go back, that cool. I will respond. I won't say back and forth like we argue because I don't think this is an argument. I will respond to a person's comment, but then when I get to a point in the dialogue that I'm like, okay, you know what? It's just best for me just to do a video to just break it all down. And that's what I'm doing here. My thoughts and everything. But I wanted to show y'all the whole interaction that we was going through. So this is what they wrote. They said they disagree with me about the scanning at the table scanning requirements before drop off. I understand why some of the signing services have this requirement. And then pointed to the timestamp of when I made my comments. Know of two signing companies who lost major contracts because of too many errors from the notaries. To protect their business, they need to check the notary's work before this gets to the title company. They may also be waiting on documents for funding. If you can't make their requirements, don't accept the job. And that's the area. That statement there is questionable, and I will tell you why. If you can't make their requirements, don't accept the job. This is why I always state ensure that you have the right equipment before taking the job. This also includes breaking state laws or unauthorized notarization. So I said I don't think I said that we should not scan or that I don't scan. I don't believe as independent contractors we need to be forced to scan from the table because in some cases that is what's happening. They're trying to force us to do that, especially when the signer's on a tight schedule or have not been informed that we're going to be doing that. I should not be the first person when I call to confirm with them the appointment that, hey, oh, by the way, nobody can leave the signing until dot, dot, dot. Okay. And then I shouldn't be the first one telling them that. The lender and the title company should have that already in place and have already informed them of that. Okay. To me, that's if you were a person signing a document, doing a closing, and they done spoke to you and talked to you for 4 years, I mean, for 4 months, not 4 years, and then you get a phone call from this random notary saying, hey, I'm going to meet with you. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to be bringing in my scanner equipment, irregardless of the size. I'm going to be bringing my scanner equipment, setting up to scan right there on your kitchen table or whatever table you have, where we're going to be meeting at. And I can't leave until they review the documents and say everything is good to go. Who told them who told them that? And if this is their first time hearing that, I don't think that's right. Okay. So then I go on to say here, in my opinion, the first time the signer should be hearing about this scan from their kitchen table shouldn't be from us. If the title has not told them, it must not be that imperative. Okay. In some environments, the signers' homes is not conducive for sitting there and trying to scan. Signers arguing, kids running around, them fixing dinner. So you have all of these aspects. Okay. I don't think having a brand new notary scanning from the table is a smart thing to do. New notaries are not trained to do that. Most don't even understand how to connect their mobile internet or do, and some don't even have that option on their cell phone. They need to be focused on just getting the signatures and proper notarization. This is just what I believe. After 6 years, 6 years and over 3,000 closings that I've done, I think I have a little bit of understanding about this. I understand about the errors and the need for the signing companies to check for them, but that comes from a lack of solid training on understanding how to notarize and not exposing the notaries to a full set of loan documents. Because a lot of notaries, and y'all know, y'all said, I see this, that, and the other, but you honestly don't. You've never seen a full set of closing documents. That's why I did the video, and I'll link it right here. What's this here? 60. I'll link it right here that says, loan doc overview. So I go through a whole loan document just so you can get a feel for what to expect on a loan closing. That's not for every single closing. There's all kind of formats and different things. But I also did a reverse mortgage. I think I also did a loan modification. So I've shown various different documents just to give you an idea. But a lot of notaries aren't trained properly and they haven't seen a full set of documents. They don't understand proper notarizations, any of that stuff. The only time I need to scan from the table the only time that I've needed to scan from the table is when I do a commercial loan and everybody is informed of that and all of that. One of the things signing companies can do is provide notaries a set of sample documents from the signing company's clients for notaries to review prior to ever getting assigned. They can get docs with sample numbers and signers' names on them. And what I mean by that is simply if you assign a company, you could actually get somebody to put together dot, 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 dot. Okay. Take time out, hire somebody, say, hey, Earl, you're going to work with these clients of ours to get together some sample documents and then boom, and put it together so that our notaries who we bring in, here's a portal. You can look these documents over. You can look at them online just so you can get an idea. I'm not going to have you download them because then you'll run off with them and all that. And I just thought about something. I got to make somebody some documents so they can practice their printing. I keep forgetting. I've been so busy. It just popped in my head. So I'll do that today. So if you're looking, I forgot, I forgot, but I now remember. So it's on video, it'll get done. But that's the thing, so there's ways of doing that to help the notary because if there's some common errors, which a lot of the companies do say, here's some common errors, this, that, and the other, and everything. Okay. So then they came back with this statement said, at Griffin Order, as I said, I disagree with you. You are contracted to do the job. You are not an employee of the title company or signing service. It's not their responsibility to ensure you have the knowledge and tools for the job. See that right there. That right there is the issue because there are a lot of signing companies out there, whether they do it themselves directly or they have a separate training company that's affixed to or associated with said signing company and said owner of signing company. And there's nothing, and in my opinion, that's cool. They want to do that, that's fine. But they're doing that. So if you're going to train me, then let's train me to the nth degree and make sure I have all of the proper visibility of the documents and this, that, and the other, because you can't see, well, you're missing this here. Okay, well, how about I get a set of documents and I can look at them and review them online ahead of time. Okay, so when I'm doing a closing for this company, this is how the documents look like. When I'm doing a closing for that company, this is how it looks like. Nobody has put that out there. Nobody's thinking about doing that. That could solve a lot of the problems. That could solve a lot of problems because people are running around sample docs, and then you have these little bum trainers out here and coaches and stuff. And I ain't talking about the trainers that the companies those other big companies. I'm talking about these shoot off, these little friends, trainers, calling them people calling themselves trainers. Yeah, I got sample docs, and all you get is like 6 or 7 pages, but you don't see the whole loan set. You see what I'm saying? And then they charge you $150 for not even a quarter of the pages you're going to see. Then when you finally see them, you get overwhelmed and everything. So then it's talking about, yeah, we're right. We're not employees. And let's just be real. Companies who hire independent contractors should not be training independent contractors to do their job. And that is a part of the the difference between between a not federal, but between an independent contractor and an employee. So when you start as a company start training the independent contractors that's working for you, the IRS could look at that as their employees because you're not directing them in how to do the job. So you say, well, then they shouldn't put the documents up. Correct. So then maybe the NNA, somebody needs to put the documents up there and make them available for notaries so that we can see and get well versed in these documents since everybody wants to see the nuts and bolts in the front and the back of them. But that's why I focus primarily, and I could do it, but the reason why I don't is because focus of people get caught up in the contents of the documents rather than the notarization of said signatures on the documents. Okay, that's where the issue comes in at, and there's also a lack of proper some of their basic. Sorry about that. Okay, that's just client saying they got the documents for the signing that I did. Okay, good. But that's what I'm saying. So if you're going to go this route of training me with your training company, training me with your weekly training sessions and stuff, okay, that's your choice. Maybe there's a loophole that you found that you can do that and it's not violating any kind of employee independent contractor status. I'm not being misclassified. Then cool, let's do that. But then let's take it to the nth degree and provide me with the documents ahead of time, sample documents of here's how villa title documents are, here's how armor settlement title, here's how this title company, here's how this lender's documents look like. And then I get a visual of that and I can see it. I'm like, okay, cool. And that can reduce errors. So if I have that and that reduces errors and I'm properly trained, then there's no need for me to scan at the table so you can check my work before I leave. You see what I'm saying? The funding thing, to be honest with you, I'm let me back up before I even talk about the funding thing. Here's the deal. I've never seen in any of the independent contractor agreements, and I haven't read them all, and it's been a while since I've read some, so it might have changed, where they say a part of this independent contractor agreement, what I'm saying, the agreement, the original agreement, the initial agreement, is that you have to close. I mean, you have to print from the table. I mean, scan from the table. Words on Twitter. I've never seen that. I've never seen that at all. What I have seen is after you you're clicking the button saying you agree to this independent contractor agreement, that somebody throws some supplemental stuff up there saying, "Oh, by the way, you need to scan from the table." I have seen that. And I'm like, okay, but I've already accepted the order, and that wasn't in the initial order. Well, there's a change, there was a requirement change, and there's a company, I forget which company, I wouldn't tell you if I could remember, but on SnapDocs, they do that. You get the order, and then like 20 minutes later, oh, there's a change in the order. You do have to give scans. So in the first, for the initial order comes out, there's no scans. Then all of a sudden, bam, 20 minutes later, oh, there's a change in the requirement, and they do want scans. Just tell me they want scans up front. This is why notaries are like, because people keep doing this thing of, hey, here's this order, no scans. Oh, my bad. We do want scans. You see what I'm saying? That kind of stuff happens. So notaries are like, wait a minute, which is weird. But for the most part, to be honest, over 99%, that's a high number. When you say out of 100%, companies don't ask me or require me to do that. Maybe the signing company, and as y'all heard me on that phone call, the title company that I talked to, they was like, no, there's no scans. But then the signing company is like, no, we do want scans. And just as a side note, when that same title company called me back about their order, then all of a sudden, like, oh, yeah, we need scans. Which one is it? You see people going back and forth. So they're saying here, they're saying So the notary accepted the job, stating that they can perform as required by the contractor. The thing is this here, that the job that they're asking us to do in the contractor agreement, the independent contractor agreement, versus once we get the order and then all of these other side things is two different things. It's two different things. And when they tell us, because again, like I said before, they tell us sometimes after you've already got things set up, you're ready to go, you don't confirm, and then they coming back telling you dot dot dot. So I don't say now the person said I don't say you must always scan at the table, but you must have this as an option, one of your options within your schedule. I don't agree. You don't have to you don't have to have that as an option. You because you don't have to have that as an option. It will be nice, but just starting out, it can be difficult for a person to have that because your first three orders could be an order where you have to scan. But see, here's the thing, how many people are talking about scanning from the table in the training? How many people are talking about that? Nobody. Nobody's training notaries how to do that. Nobody's setting up things on how to scan from the table and do mobile scanning and all that. Nobody talks about that. It's all about marketing, 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 but nobody really talks about that. However, I have and I've set up, shown some things on that. And if I get time, I'll go back and look, pull some videos up and link them in the description or the pinned comment in the next day or so. But I've done that and showed people, hey, here's how I got stuff set up. I've shown y'all me scanning at the Starbucks, and I was in a daggone parking garage scanning. So I've shown that and shown you here's the little invert I got. This is the scanner I got. I've shown that, but very few people in the training phase gets educated on that. So then I found this very interesting here. It says I've done over 1,800 closings in other real estate in the past 5 years, which is why I threw my stats out there. And one of the things that I found out is that when I have dialogues like this, and I brought out some questions and some scenarios that I think should be taken into account, most times the people who have this dialogue who disagree with me never address the questions or the items that I'm talking about. They never address what I come back with. And what they end up doing is throwing out stats to say, because I've done this amount, that qualifies what I'm saying. Well, I've done over 3,000, and I've been doing this here for 5 years also. I'm averaging 70 a month. I did about 823 or 26 last year. So my stats are better than your stats. If you really want to get down to it, okay? If it's about stats, which for me is not. But if you're going to throw stats out there and basically to say that I've done this amount, and because I've done this amount, boom. You see what I'm saying? I mean, mm, okay, that's nice you did that amount, but you didn't answer the questions that I posed out there. Okay, you didn't. So it says, on half of which, and then five of half of which I scan on site, whether in their homes, hospitals, because lawyers want me to send them a copy of the documents and leave the originals with them. Okay, see, that's a whole different other scenario. See, in our situation, that's a different scenario. If that's what they want, then fine. They've told you up front. They've told you up front the person know they need to keep the originals. So you got one copy. That's a whole different scenario than what I'm talking about. Okay. Then it says also use options where I scan from my car, which I've shown y'all that. Got videos of me with a whole scanner set up. Starbucks, Paneras, or drive home, whichever fits my schedule based on my timeline. So I'm trying to figure out where's the disagreement at. What is it that you disagree with? If you feel that, but I believe it is, and based on the time and I'm required to get the documents back to the company which contracted me to do the job. And see, this is where I think your concern or your disagreement, you're saying that you're contracted to do it that way. Not necessarily. If it's not in the contract, the written contract of you will always scan from the table, and it's hard to say that you can't put that out there for the reasons that I pointed out here, You can't always say you're going to scan from the table, because if if the title company and the lender hasn't told the people that you're going to be doing that, then how are you going to be sitting here doing that when they haven't done that? So it's saying the company contracting me do, when I'm confirming an appointment with the signers, I set the expectation at this point, and they are fully aware of what's happening during the thing, and I have not had any pushback from anyone in 5 years. Okay, good. You got 5 years in the business. To me, that don't mean a thing, because everybody's situation is different. And you probably haven't really seen a whole lot of my videos, looked at them, but I've covered this stuff and talked about that. So what you saw is in a small little microcosm, as they say, of what I said at that time. But I've done other videos talking about all of these various scenarios that you're talking about. I sense that your main contention or disagreement with me is about being contracted to do something. I'm saying not everybody is contracted to do it the way you're doing it. If the people you're with have contracted you to do it that way, then good. But not everybody is being contracted to do it that way. Now, all of these independent contractor agreements are set up like that. So you have to be you have to have an understanding of that. And again, for a brand new notary coming into this business who has not been properly prepared to do it the way you're doing it, you can't put that pressure on them and say you have to do it this way. You are contracted to do it this way. How do you know what they're contracted to do? You know what you're contracted to do, but you don't know what I'm contracted to do. You don't know what companies I'm working with, which could be way different from the companies you're working with. So we're independent, we're not together. So you have a group that you're working with that says do it this way. I have a group that says do it this way. You have another group that says sometimes you will, sometimes you won't. That's the point that I was trying to make. I probably didn't do it as clear. Hopefully, I'm making it clear now. So take it for what you want, but I don't. In the end, you're saying the same thing that I've already said in other videos about scanning and things of that nature. I think I even did a video about scanning. And if I get time, because I got to get ready to go and take care of some stuff for the day. I don't know when this video gonna post, but I'll post it sometime today. My point is this: I've talked about this, and if you've taken time out and looked at the other videos that I have done, then you would know that I've discussed when to scan, when not to scan, all of those kind of things. I've talked about that. Okay, so you saw my video. I don't know if this is your first time, second time, whatever, but you took what I said and said you disagree. You feel that I should just do what I'm contracted to do. I'm saying not everybody's contracted to do what you do. And if you understand that, then cool. If you don't, then you're just going to believe and feel the way you feel. All right. Hey, give me some kind thoughts and criticisms or feedback in the comment section, everybody. Let me know what you think. Feel free to look at the video again that he referenced from what I said, as well as read it for yourself. Hopefully he won't take down his comments and all of that. Hopefully he will leave them up, but this isn't to shame anybody. This is just to point out something and for me to just talk it out, because sometimes, I've been talking for 23 minutes. I ain't got time to be typing for 23 minutes. Okay. I ain't going to do no 23-minute typing and all of that. All right. If I miss anything, you feel I missed anything, let me know. And I'll do another video and re-clarify or clarify the stuff that I've said. But other than that, greatly appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good day. Talk to y'all later. Peace. All right, party people, this your man Griff. Hey, had to come back and cover the one thing that I said I would that I forgot. The funding. The funding of these closings. I don't know sometimes if people telling me the truth that they're doing funding within the next 2 hours or not. The commercial loans, yes. But the residential loans, the seller, I don't know. And it could be on a sale or whatever. I worked directly with a client and that's what they did. They did the funding right then and there. But sometimes the funding could honestly be the issue, or them saying funding is like this is because notaries have been playing around and delaying, not scanning, or as I said earlier, having issues with scanning because they don't know how to and all of that, errors and all of that. And they're like, okay, just trying to push us to get the scans done quicker. Okay. And I get that. But not every company has the same funding requirements. There are some companies that have told me they're like, "Oh, don't worry, they said we got people overnight. Whenever you do the funding, we can fund anytime." I've been told that. Okay, they're like, "Oh, we can fund anytime." I don't know what that means. All they said is we can fund anytime. So once you get it done, let us know. Sometimes some companies have told us just let me know that it's done and we can, preliminary do this, let them know it's done, this, that, and the other. And what I've done in the past, when I've had that happen maybe 2 or 3 times, I said, "What do you need me just to do a quick phone scan of certain documents that y'all can go on to do the funding, to release that, and then when I get a moment, I can do the whole document." They say, "Yeah, let's do that." Clickety click, boom, and they're like, "Wow, okay, cool." So you see what I'm saying? So those are different scenarios. So the funding, not everybody's going to do right now funding at this moment. As soon as they sign that last thing, you stamp the last one. Okay, fund it. Some companies are like that. Some aren't. I think the home builders more operate more like that, or do operate like that. I won't say more than another because it could be, there might be some others, but that's what I've seen. So I just wanted to share that with you, throw that out there because I forgot to mention it. It was on my mind, then I closed out the thing. But just be mindful. Your situation is your situation. It's good to hear other people's situations. It's good to learn from other people's situations. But just know that in doing this business as an independent notary, you're going to be in various situations with various different clients. Even if you have a signing company that always operates like this, they get a client that operates like this, they have to adjust and they're looking for notaries to adjust with them. So if you can adjust and be fluid, and you'll be all right. But if you got to be start everything got to be told to you 3 hours ahead of time, 2 days ahead of time, 5 weeks ahead of time, then you're going to have a hard time being able to move on the go. It's that simple. Okay. Can't, and let me, because people might have misunderstood saying that I'm saying that you don't ever need to have the ability to scan at the table. That takes some coordination and some logistical effort on your behalf. And in order for you to add that into your arsenal, you need to really think about it and make sure you have all the necessary pieces. However, you can always say no to those orders until you get yourself in a position to do those orders. So don't think that that's why I say you don't have to have that, because there's certain orders that you may not want to do. Your personality may not be suited for you under the eyeballs of everybody watching you scan and this, that, and the other. That might not be you. You may not work that way. Because if you didn't work that way in your W-2, you're not going to work that way here. All of a sudden, it's like, yeah, everybody watch me, watch what I'm doing. Hey, nah, you operate, because there's sometimes, I mean, there's people like, hey, we need you. No, I don't operate that way. Well, we need you to do. I don't do that. Oh, I said, feel free to find a different order. I don't, but I get it, but I don't do that. Okay. Not a, I'm fine with that. And you have to be fine with that also. All right. So let me get on up out of here. But I just wanted to add that on. So y'all have a good one. Peace.